The rain poured like heaven was crying for her. Amelia Harper stood soaked on the sidewalk of Fifth Avenue. Her wedding dress ruined, white silk clinging to her skin like a bad memory. 3 hours ago, she was supposed to marry Ethan Caldwell, the perfect heir to Caldwell Enterprises, and every magazine called him the most eligible bachelor in America. Now, she held her phone with trembling hands, reading the text he sent instead of showing up at the altar. Sorry, Mia, I cannot do this. Dad found someone better for the merger. You were always too ordinary anyway. Ordinary. That word burned more than the rain. 500 guests saw her stand alone at the church. Her mother cried in the front row. Her best friend tried to drag her away, but Amelia just smiled cold and sharp and walked out with her head high. She did not cry yet. Outside, a black Rolls-Royce splashed water across her gown. The window rolled down. Jesus, get in before you drown. A deep voice shouts. She looked up and saw Liam Reeves. The entire city called him the Devil of Wall Street, a self-made billionaire who crushed Ethan's family in 3 hostile takeovers last year. His dark hair was wet from the rain. Storm-gray eyes locked on her with a smirk that could start wars. Amelia knew him. Everyone did. He ruined the Caldwell family and laughed about it on CNBC. Now he was offering her a ride on the day. Her fiancé dumped her for a better merger. She should say no. Instead, she opened the door and slid inside. Water dripped from her veil onto Italian leather. You look like a drowned mermaid, Liam said. He handed her a towel, eyes never leaving her face. And you look like trouble. She shot back. He laughed, low and dangerous. Good. Trouble is exactly what you need right now. The car sped off, and Amelia stared at the city lights blurring past. Why are you helping me? She asked. Liam leaned closer, his voice velvet and venom. Because Ethan Caldwell just made the biggest mistake of his life. And I never miss a chance to make my enemies regret breathing. She turned to him, her heart still hurting as something ignited inside. Hot and fearless. What are you going to do? She whispered. He smiled like a wolf finally set free. No! Princess! The question is, what are you going to do? Amelia looked down at the diamond ring on her finger. Ethan's ring, worth $500,000, and suddenly worthless. She pulled it off and rolled down the window, sending it into the night. The ring sparkled once under the streetlights before disappearing forever. Liam watched her, eyes blazing with approval. That is my girl, he said softly. Amelia met his gaze, chest rising as tears finally fell, but not from pain. Those tears fell from fury and from power. Drive faster, she said. Take me somewhere I can burn everything down and build something better. Liam grinned, hit the gas, and the car roared into Manhattan like a hurricane. Behind them, the past drowned in the rain, and ahead something dangerous and beautiful was just beginning. The penthouse door slammed behind them, 70 floors above Manhattan, where the city glittered like broken diamonds at their feet. Liam shrugged off his wet jacket and tossed it to a butler who vanished without a word. Amelia stood dripping in the marble foyer, her veil hanging like a ghost. Drink, Liam ordered, pouring 2 fingers of something amber and expensive. She took the glass with shaking fingers and the whiskey burned, but it burned good. Sit, he said. She did not. I am not a stray you picked up, she snapped. Liam's eyes flashed. No! You are a queen who just got robbed of her crown. Big difference. He stepped closer, close enough she smelled rain and cedar on his skin. Tell me what you want. Amelia Harper. She laughed. Bitter and beautiful. I want Ethan to choke on his own ego. And I want his father to beg. I want every gossip site that called me poor little bride to eat their words tomorrow morning. Liam's smile was slow and lethal. Done. He pulled out his phone, his thumb flying across the screen. 30 seconds later, page 6 push alerts exploded across the country. Headline, Caldwell air dumps bride at the altar, then loses $400 million in 17 minutes. Amelia's phone buzzed in her soaked clutch, and she opened it. Her ex's name lit up the screen. 27 missed calls. She blocked him with one swipe, and Liam poured her another drink. That was just the appetizer, he said. She stared at him, her heart racing for a new reason. How did you do that? She asked. I have been waiting a year to gut them. He cut in. Tonight, you handed me the knife. Thank you. Amelia felt something shift inside her chest, like a cage door swinging open. She set the glass down. Still in a wedding dress. Not for long, he said. He pressed a button on the wall and a woman appeared, elegant and silent, carrying a garment bag. Inside was a crimson silk gown that cost more than most cars. Amelia raised an eyebrow. You planned this? She asked. I hoped, Liam admitted. I never imagined you would be this perfect. 20 minutes later, she walked out of the guest room looking like revenge in human form. The red dress hugged every curve, wet hair now sleek and dark, eyes lined sharp enough to kill. Liam looked up from the bar, and for the first time all night he was speechless. Amelia smiled, slow and dangerous and entirely hers. Take me out, she said. I want the whole city to see what Ethan Caldwell just threw away. Liam offered his arm, and she took it. Good, she whispered. I do not want back. I want forward. They stepped into the private elevator. As the doors closed, Liam leaned down, his lips brushing her ear. By sunrise, he will be on his knees, and you will never cry over him again. Amelia turned her face to his, so close she felt his breath. I am not crying now, she said. And she was not. She was on fire. The elevator opened to the rooftop helipad, where a black helicopter waited, its blades already turning. Liam helped her in, and as they lifted above the city, Manhattan spread beneath them like a kingdom ready to burn. Amelia looked at him, and for the first time in years she felt alive. She had not even kissed him yet. The helicopter lands on the roof of the Obsidian Club, the most exclusive rooftop in New York. Normally, paparazzi are banned within 3 blocks, but tonight they are already waiting because someone has leaked the news. Amelia steps out in crimson silk, wind whipping the dress around her legs like flames. Liam follows with his hand possessive at the small of her back, while cameras flash like lightning. By tomorrow, every screen in America will carry this photo of the runaway bride and the devil who caught her. Inside, the city elite freeze mid-sip as conversations die and champagne glasses tremble. They know who she is, they know who he is, and they know exactly what this entrance means. Amelia walks through the crowd like she owns gravity itself, while eyes follow and whispers chase her. Liam guides her to the VIP table overlooking Central Park, where a bottle of 1996 Dom Perignon waits in ice. He pops the champagne himself, pours it, and hands her the first flute. He toasts to dead engagements, and she answers with a toast to the men stupid enough to end them. They drink, and the bubbles taste like victory. Across the room, a familiar voice cracks like cheap glass as Ethan calls her name. She turns slowly and sees Ethan standing there in a tuxedo 2 shades too light, his face red from alcohol and humiliation. Security has not stopped him because someone clearly wants drama, and it is perfect for both of them. He marches over with wild eyes and demands to know how she could block him after everything he did. Amelia sips her champagne and asks what exactly he thinks he gave her besides lies and a public execution. He reaches for her wrist, but Liam moves faster. Liam closes a hand around Ethan's arm, tight enough to bruise, and warns that if he touches her again, he will break it. Ethan tries to pull free, but he cannot move. The whole room watches in delicious silence. Amelia steps forward with a soft, lethal voice and reminds him that he once called her ordinary. She looks him up and down, then tells him to look at her now. She stands radiant, terrifying, and untouchable. Ethan's mouth opens and closes like a dying fish as he stammers that he made a mistake. She tells him it is too late and turns to Liam to ask him to dance with her. It is not a question, it is a command. Liam releases Ethan like discarded trash, then takes her hand. The DJ reads the room perfectly and drops the beat into something slow and sinful. Liam pulls her close on the dance floor with their bodies pressed, her hand on his chest and his hand at her waist. He murmurs that she is shaking, and she answers that it is not from fear. He smiles against her temple and says, "That is good." Ethan watches from the edge of the crowd with his face crumbling, while someone hands him a phone. Probably his furious father. Amelia never looks back, She only looks up at Liam. She tells him to kiss her right now and to make it hurt Ethan as much as possible. Liam does not hesitate and kisses her like the world is ending, like she is oxygen, like he has waited years instead of hours. The room spins as her fingers curl into his shirt. When they finally break apart, Ethan is gone, probably crying in a dark corner. Amelia smiles against Liam's lips and whispers her thanks. He brushes a thumb across her cheek and tells her not to thank him yet, because they are just getting started. The song ends, and the crowd erupts in applause. They do not care about Ethan, they care about power. Tonight, that power belongs to her. Amelia feels it settle in her bones as she realizes she is no longer the girl left at the altar. She is the woman who burned the church down and danced in the ashes with the devil smiling beside her. The helicopter lifts off again at 3 a.m. Amelia's lipstick is gone, her hair wild from Liam's hands, and her heart beats like war drums. She looks at the city shrinking below, and suddenly blurts that she has nothing left. No home or clothes, and no name that is trending for pity. Liam pours champagne into a crystal flute, hands it over, and tells her she has everything because starting tonight she has him. She stares at him and warns him not to say pretty things he does not mean. He takes the flute from her fingers, sets it aside, and cups her face with both hands. He tells her he does not say pretty things. He says true things. He admits that 2 years ago at the Met Gala he saw her standing alone while Ethan flirted with models in the corner. She wore green silk and looked bored with the world, and he decided that night he would ruin Ethan and keep her. Amelia's breath catches as she realizes he has been planning this for 2 years. He says that planning is a weak word because he was simply patient. She laughs, shocked and flattered and terrified all at once. She points out that now he has her soaked in revenge and champagne, and asks what he plans to do with her. He kisses her once, slow and claiming, then tells her what he plans to do. He plans to worship her and protect her. Watch her destroy anyone who ever hurt her and love her so hard the past forgets her name. The helicopter lands on his private estate in the Hamptons with the ocean roaring just beyond the windows. Inside, the staff have prepared a bedroom bigger than her old apartment. On the bed lie boxes from Cartier and La Perla and a single black credit card with her name already embossed. Amelia opens the biggest box and finds a diamond choker that looks like frozen fire. She touches the necklace with careful fingers and tells him it is too much. He insists that nothing is too much for his queen and fastens the choker around her throat himself, his lips brushing the nape of her neck. She turns in his arms and whispers that she is still broken, because today has shattered her. He kisses her eyelids and offers to be the one who puts her back together piece by sharp glittering piece. She searches his face for lies and finds only truth. Something inside her cracks open and she kisses him first this time. Hard and desperate and hungry. He lifts her and walks with her until her back meets silk sheets, while the choker sparkles against her skin. He pulls back just enough to tell her that if she tells him to stop, he will stop. She answers by pulling him down and warning him not to dare stop. Hours later, sunrise paints the ocean gold. They lie tangled together with her head on his chest and his fingers tracing the diamonds at her throat. Amelia breaks the quiet to say that she wants to work and not just sit pretty. She explains that she has a master's degree from Columbia and that she is really good with numbers. Liam smiles into her hair and tells her he already knows. He admits that he read her thesis on predictive market modeling twice. She calls him a stalker, and he quietly corrects her and calls himself her future husband. Her heart almost stops when she sees that he is not joking. He says he is not asking yet, and that he will wait until she is ready. When she is ready, he wants her to marry him not because he saved her, but because she saved herself and chose him anyway. Tears prick her eyes. Happy ones this time. She kisses him slow and sweet and tells him to ask again in 6 months. She promises that she will say yes so loud the whole world will hear. He laughs, rolls her beneath him again, and calls it a deal. Outside, the ocean keeps roaring its approval. Inside, a new kingdom is born, built on ashes and diamonds and 2 hearts that refuse to kneel. 6 months later, the Forbes cover hits newsstands at dawn. On the cover, Amelia Harper Reeves, now co-CEO of Reeves Capital, stares down the camera like she owns the future, because she does. Under her leadership, the firm posts its highest quarter ever, with $14.7 billion in new assets. Most of that money is stripped from Caldwell Enterprises in a takeover so clean, It feels like art. The headline says she has gone from jilted bride to Wall Street's deadliest woman. She frames the cover and hangs it above her desk. Ethan sees it in every airport from New York to Tokyo, until he finally stops traveling. Inside the glass tower on Park Avenue, Amelia walks the trading floor in a white suit sharp enough to draw blood. Traders call her Queen A now, and they cheer when she enters. She has turned Liam's empire into theirs. Liam watches from his office doorway with his arms crossed and pride burning in his eyes. She still takes his breath away every single day. At 7 in the evening, she kicks off her heels under the conference table and finds him waiting with a single red rose. He asks if she is ready. She arches a brow and says it depends, then asks where they are going. He only smiles, takes her hand, and leads her to the private elevator. The doors open on the roof where a helicopter waits. The same black beast from the night. Everything changed. Inside the helicopter, he blindfolds her with black silk. She starts to protest by saying his name, but he simply tells her to trust him. She does trust him completely. They fly south through the night sky. When the rotors finally slow, he removes the blindfold. Central Park appears at twilight, with the Boathouse restaurant empty and closed to everyone except them. Fairy lights twinkle in every tree while a string quartet plays their song from the night she made Ethan disappear. Liam leads her to the dock where rose petals float on the water. He drops to one knee with a new ring, an emerald-cut diamond the color of her eyes, the night she threw Ethan's ring into the rain. Amelia's hand flies to her mouth. Liam reminds her that 6 months ago he promised to wait until she was ready, and now he asks if she is ready, calling her Amelia Harper. Tears fall before she can stop them, happy and powerful. She whispers yes, then says it louder, just like she promised, telling him yes, Liam Reeves, 1,000 times yes. He slides the ring on her finger, stands up, and kisses her until the quartet forgets the next note. When they pull apart, he presses his forehead to hers and tells her she saved him too. She laughs through tears and calls him a liar, saying he never needed saving. He corrects her and says that he needed her and still does every single day. Fireworks explode above the park in red and gold and white, illegal and perfect. She had not noticed the crew on the next roof, and she realizes he really planned everything. Amelia kisses him again, deeper this time, until the city disappears. Later, the cover of every gossip site shouts that the Queen said yes. Ethan sees the headline in a hotel bar in London and orders another drink. The bartender refuses and tells him that his card has been declined. Of course it has, because Amelia personally froze every Caldwell account that morning as a wedding gift to herself. Back in New York, wrapped in Liam's arms on the penthouse balcony, she watches the city bow beneath them. She tells him he kept his promise. He asks which promise she means. She reminds him that he promised she would never cry over Ethan again. He kisses her bare shoulder and answers that she kept her promise too, because she said yes so loud the whole world heard. She turns in his arms and tells him she loves him, calling him Liam Reeves. He answers that he loved her first. She smiles and tells him to prove it for the rest of their lives. He picks her up, carries her inside, and promises to start proving it right now. The city keeps shining as the Queen finally has her king. No one will ever take her crown again. 1 year later, the wedding is held on the same Hamptons cliff where they first made love at sunrise. There are no magazine deals and no guest list of 3,000. Only 70 people who actually matter. Amelia walks the aisle barefoot in the sand, wearing a simple silk gown the color of seafoam at dawn. Diamonds glitter only at her throat, the same choker from their first wild night now reset with a single teardrop emerald Liam added the day she said yes. Her father cries when he gives her away, and her mother finally stops worrying. Liam waits under an arch of white roses, his black tuxedo sharp against the ocean, and his eyes already wet. He does not try to hide his tears. When she reaches him, he takes both her hands and speaks his vows first, with a voice rough with truth. He promises to burn the world down if it ever hurts her again, and to build it back better every single time. He promises to love her on the days she feels unbreakable, and especially on the days she does not. He calls her his empire and vows today, tomorrow, and always. Amelia smiles through tears and speaks her vows in return. She promises to keep choosing him even when the story is quiet and the cameras are gone. She promises to fight beside him and laugh with him, and never let either of them forget how powerful they are together. She tells him he gave her back her fire, and that she is never giving it away again. They kiss before the officiant says they can, and everyone cheers anyway. At the reception under strings of golden lights, they dance while the ocean sings behind them. Ethan's name never comes up once. Ethan is somewhere in Connecticut now selling real estate and trying to spell Reeves without flinching every time. He fails, but Amelia and Liam do not care. They have better things to do, like slow dancing while their friends toast to them. They cut a 5-tier lemon raspberry cake together. Later, they disappear to the beach at midnight with their shoes kicked off and her veil lost to the wind. Liam pulls her down into the sand while the moon paints them silver. She straddles his lap with her white dress glowing and whispers that they did it. He answers that they are just getting started. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out the original engagement ring Ethan gave her, the one she threw into the rain 2 years ago. A diver found it last month, and Liam had it cleaned, then melted the band into 2 thin wedding rings they now wear. He says softly that nothing Ethan touched is wasted, because even his worst mistake has become part of their forever. Amelia kisses him slow and deep and tells him she loves him so much it scares her sometimes. He murmurs that it is good because love should be a little terrifying and it keeps them honest. Years later, when people ask how they met, Amelia smiles and says that he stole her on the worst day of her life and turned it into the best one. Liam always adds that she let him, and they laugh because only they know the whole truth. The truth is that she never needed rescuing. She just needed someone brave enough to run with her while she saved herself. The ocean keeps roaring and the stars keep shining. Somewhere a girl reading this story on her phone closes it with tears in her eyes and a new fire in her chest. She believes that if Amelia Harper can rise from ashes wearing crimson silk and a devil's smile, then maybe she can rise too. The story ends with that hope burning quietly inside her. Thanks for watching. Follow for more romance stories.